Welcome to another exciting Simple Talk segment with me, Minol Dee. And on the show today, I have a veteran in the Western music industry in Sri Lanka, one and only Kevin Almeida. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Welcome. Right, Kevin, take us back to your start. How did you get into music?
How did I get into music? Well, it all started with the family. So it was running in the family, still running. That's how we got started. So we took it from there.
So when you said was running in the family, like your mom and dad was into music, let's talk about that.
Yeah, mom and dad definitely into music, big time. And so, my sister Corinne, so who is well known in the country. And
is she your elder sister?
she's elder than me.
So like you took it from her, or how did that happen? Like
No, nobody took anything from anybody. It just came from the roots, like mom and dad. So we all sort of let it grow from.
grew up in a musical background, no?
Very much. So we didn't have to go anywhere else to look for anything musically. It was all in the house.
This affair with the guitar, when did that happen?
Actually, yes, I was actually about 6 years old. I was sick when I started. My father always used to strum a guitar, these house parties. And he's so he was playing guitar, and then finally he surprised me one evening with a ukulele.
Oh, okay.
So when I opened my cupboard, after a shower in the evening, I opened my cupboard to take my clothes up. Then I saw this ukulele. From that day onwards, that's the day. I couldn't remember the day exactly, but that was a special day for me.
Ever since that day, you never let go of the guitar.
Never.
So this was like back in the 80s or 70s?
If I'm 6 years old, then I was born in 1965.
Don't guess the age.
So 65 to 71, 72, no?
72, okay. So back in the day, how was the music scene in Sri Lanka?
You mean when it was in the 72? I didn't know too much. I was just 6 years old.
Right.
So I didn't know what the outside world was. So, but can vaguely remember. It was very much Corinne, my sister. She used to sing. My father used to play. So we used to play all these calypso songs and country and western. Skeeter Davis and Donny and Mary Osman. And
still at home parties?
Every time, every evening almost.
Right.
Home parties, Donny and Mari, ABBA and Boney M's and all this at that era,
Right.
So we grew up with this type of music.
So what was the moment, or when was it that you wanted to take it to the next level or do it professionally?
I always didn't think I'll be professionally doing stuff like this because it was too much to handle with the parents wanted you to do something different, but I was probably adamant and stubborn. I wanted to be some musician. I didn't know if I'll be a singer or a guitar player, but definitely a guitar player. But I didn't know I'll get to singing so much. But looking up, growing up slowly, gradually, and then looking at all these big bands playing. We used to call it beat bands.
Okay.
Those days. So going for these stage shows, and my sister was very young on the stage. She was actually 9, I think, when she started playing with these big dudes, and I was just just coming up there. But I was backing her at home for all this kind of music that we listened to then. So slowly was not much interested in the school stuff, but I was just hooked on this.
Do you remember your first gig as a professional musician?
Yes, I was about 12 when they didn't have a guitar player.
Okay.
And they thought that I could handle this, and they took me for a wedding. And I was remembered just in a coat. I don't know from where I got that jacket and things. So yes, I played with my uncle. He's Willem. I played my first gig. I remember some house, and then yeah.
You've been in the music industry for how long now? 4 decades?
I was in my.
I think 5 decades.
19, 1920. Yeah,
Yeah.
four.
Between 4 and 5.
Yeah, I'd say 4.5.
Yeah. So this wealth of experience, right? I want you to remember, like, the first gig. Maybe you would have played at a club or a function. What was that experience like?
In the meantime, so there was this. They had a lot. It's not like today. There were lovely bands. Like, I mean, there are fantastic bands now, even better now. But there are very few bands, and who we didn't have so much players those days.
Yeah.
Now you see, everywhere in every corner there is a player. Even my son, he's amazing. I can't believe the way he plays. He just amazing. So, and all the opportunities of having guitars, you can see here. We didn't have this opportunity those days. So there was this band called Burn.
Okay.
If you would remember, so
God.
these guys, they came and asked me if I can join the band, and I was so happy because to play in a beat band, like I said, beat band. And we went to Habarana Lodge and Village.
All right. Okay.
So that was my first professional gig, playing in Habarana Lodge and Village.
Right.
So at that time we had a lot of tourists and tourism and all. So we played Friday, Saturday, almost every day we played. So Lodge and Village, they were my first gigs.
So you were basically, you wanted to become like an instrumentalist or a singer or both together from your start?
I don't know. Actually, when I started, it's a good question. When I started, I didn't have even a microphone stand in front of me. I didn't dream of singing, but I heard good singing at home.
Right. Yes.
Like my dad is an amazing singer. My mother is an amazing singer, and my sister, of course, she's a brilliant singer, and which I backed her. If you are to put all those gigs together that she has played right now, I think I still have backed her more than all of them at home.
Yeah.
So backed her almost every day. We saw. Yes, good memories there. So,
how was that experience like growing up with her?
I just went blank just now.
I know. That's why I wanted to, bring you back again.
Yeah.
How was that experience like growing up with her, playing music,
She's
backing
an
her?
amazing character. She's got it all. She's an amazing person and a wonderful sister to have.
I think I should share the link with her as well.
Yeah, you should. It's amazing. She's like my second mother. So it's all good with her, and I played a lot of gigs with her. I mean, like I told you, I have backed her the most. So brilliant voice, superb person, and
if I remember right, one time you both were in one band, right?
Yeah, we formed a band. She formed a band together with me, with my band. So we put that together,
right.
And but she's a real professional musician, and so am I. But the ideas somehow they meet well, but somehow at certain points I have my different way of thinking, and she does, and respect to what her thinking is. But then we decided we are not made for this. Once in a way play a nice concert together, like we did the Memory Lane. She organized it very well. So she's super girl to have. But on the long run, she's experienced in a different way. I've been in Europe for a long time, so I have my own ideas as well. So we didn't want those things to clash. So she's doing very well. And
since you mentioned about Europe, how was your when did you first start touring?
It was in the late 80s.
What's the band?
uh, I went with a band with a guy called Carlo Fonseca. His band, Urega. He's a Sri Lankan. He's a good singer, good drummer as well. But my aim was to play with Purple Rain, and that's what I did. Finally, I played with a bunch of amazing.
Let's talk about that experience. Yes, Purple Rain.
Yeah. So when I went to Europe, Jeffrey Fernando, the famous Jeffrey Fernando, one and only, whom I used to look up to. And my father said one day, looking at the TV, said, "Hey, come here, you should play with that guy. That's the musician." And inside me, I had it all ready that I should play with him. So my aim worked very well, and he liked me as the same way. So I ended up playing with Purple Rain and Joe Thambi Muthu and Michael De Silva, Pramukh Fernando, Damien Vikramathilaka, and we were stunning band. So I had the privilege of playing with them and experience good music and playing the top places, and they were,
the musicians.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like afterwards, like what are the other bands? I know you've been in so many bands.
Yeah.
Right? From Purple Rain, what's the next move?
No. I played bands in Sri Lanka. Yeah. So before that, Purple Rain, I played with this band called Burn. Then we had a band called Pro Arrangement. That is Russell Fernando, Jeffrey's brother. You heard of him? Then I played with Manila. I played with Upeka, Manila and Upeka. And then I went to Europe. So that's where I joined Purple. But I played with some stunner Philippine bands. And some African bands, and an American band as well, but for short times.
But even though it's for a short time, let's compare the experience. Like you played in Sri Lanka with different bands and playing in different countries with foreign bands. How is this experience?
The experience is musically, the knowledge that you gain is unbelievable. Because each and every person, like say for an example, you play with Joe Thambi Muthu. You got a lot to learn on this with the guitar, and he's a perfect pitch person, and you never can go wrong with a person like that. So is Jeffrey. You never can go wrong because he's one of my favorite singers, and I used to look up to him. Actually, he pushed me to sing a lot. And he gave me the chance more than other people did. I'm not going to mention names, but more than everyone else, he gave me the chance to sing. He said, "You must sing. You are a born singer." And he motivated me so much, encouraged me in a way that I ended up actually, now I love my singing, to sing more than I play guitar sometimes. So Jeffrey, hats off to him.
Of course.
Came from the family, but more encouragement by Fernando Jeffrey.
Right. So I know that your son has taken up from you now. How is that experience singing with your son? I know I have seen a couple of videos at Divas. I think you have played with your son together. So how is that experience seeing your son playing with you?
1, 2, 3, 4. That is to explain, this is something that's going to bring tears to my eyes. My father never trained me as such.
Okay.
My father never trained me as such. Here's what it is. You learn if you want to.
Right.
But he didn't tell me this in words, but that's what he meant. So I picked it up very fast. And I was obviously playing better than my dad. in when time
Yeah,
came.
generation.
So,
yeah.
but now that the same thing happened to my father is happening with me, because my son has overtaken me streets ahead.
All right.
And the solos that he play, I'm telling you, I can't. I can play that, but I had put a big effort into those. But he very effortlessly he plays those things, and like Beat It and Eddie Van Halen's
Really?
Jump and all these things. I have to move my fingers pretty fast.
Talk about
so
talent.
yes, so today he's like a little bit of a teacher to me, because I said, son, you even yesterday there's a song called Pamela Toto. So I said, son, it's good if you take the solo and you show me. So because he's faster, but I am faster learning from him. So having him, it's amazing to see. I think the way my dad was proud of me, I think that has come towards me too, to be proud of him. And look and see. I think so. It brings back memories. Brings back my dad also back in the memories, to know how proud he was.
Yeah.
Of course, he used to show me off a lot to his friends, but I don't do that. I don't show him off. But because even if a friend comes home, he said, Baba, take the guitar, darling, come and play something. I don't do that to him. Now that's what I didn't like, but my father did. So it's amazing, man. Kids, not only my kid, actually, there are
so many talented kids.
Few kids.
That you would have seen so many young bands playing in this Colombo.
Fantastic bands.
Let's talk about the experience, like
fantastic.
Yeah, the talent.
The talent that we have, God bless those children, because they have everything. Okay, like today they have all instruments. It's not about having instruments, but if you can't make something good use of it, it's not worth. But they do, and they play. These young bands are like lightning. They play fantastic.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Let's name 2 bands that has impressed you.
I can't name you 2 bands like that. I can name these young bands that any band. Sometimes I don't even know the name. But these guys are amazing players, and you see it's like they are very much experienced than us sometimes. The way they play. So they have practiced so much, and I can't name you bands as such like that. There are so many, and actually I don't even know the names. I only figure out these guys are good. So but we are proud to have musicians like that.
True indeed. So I'm gonna ask you a very serious question again. Now we see Eagles, Dire Straits, Level 42 and whatnot. But Sri Lanka, do you think that we will ever produce an internationally known band?
What again? That we will produce
Can
band
Sri Lanka,
from Sri Lanka?
Yeah, internationally known band from Sri
The
Lanka.
hope has to be very high, because we have the guys to do it. But it's just how we're going to do it. Definitely we have talent oozing here.
What are we lacking?
What are we lacking is how not musically lacking. I think the push to get to that level, and but some of them have made it. See Jeffrey Hussain.
Yeah.
So
individually, yes.
Individually, yes.
There are,
but
as a band,
Yes, as a band. Now see some guys in Australia, in our country, Conrad's son. He's I forget his name. Gosh, I shouldn't have. But he's an amazing player and a singer and everything. And actually, he won this. So there are individual. There are.
I think individually it's easy to do it. See what Yohani did.
Yohani.
But as a band, collectively, you can't produce a.
Now I won't compare Yohani and them.
No, it's 2 different markets.
Yeah.
But
so Yohani, I don't know how she did it, but hats off to her also, because anyway she's our Sri Lankan girl. So we have to be proud of what she is, and what she has brought for Sri Lanka. So I am. So but the levels are different. Different music type, different lots of different things, but somehow she got there.
Reason? I personally think that why we can't produce a band
Yeah.
internationally is because we are basically most of the bands are covering bands, not original musicians, like come up with their own
Yeah.
original music like Eagles and Ashwitz do.
Yeah.
Is it the reason?
That might be that might be one reason.
Yeah.
But that's not the only reason.
Yeah.
Because there now you see Eagles and all these bands. I'm sure they covered a lot. They covered a lot of music. Even up to now, they must be covering. So it's just that we are maybe too far away from that
exposure.
Exposure. Too far away, but hope
someday we'll get there.
I hope at least someday some band from this country will get to the top, and I hope, because I have a son as well, so I have to wish them all good, and we have some mega musicians here.
Speaking of which, let's talk about your current band.
Actually, my current band, I didn't form this band, it automatically did. Okay. Because my keyboard player, who's an amazing keyboard player, his name is Madhava. And so I needed a band to play for some gig, and then suddenly I played with Wildfire also recently. And so I just needed another band to play and another gig, and then my keyboard player said, Kevin Almeida, let's play together, and he brought me some fantastic musicians. And I was like thinking, okay, now so we are trying to work this out. We're still trying to work it out, because it's not easy. You have to do a lot of marketing, you have to do good recordings, you have to have a good demo going on, so which is also a lot of money involved. So it's not easy. Studio, of course, I have everything complete, everything.
What's the name of the band? Exit, right?
Exit. So I had a band called Exit. So we just named it.
Let's talk about the members.
My keyboard player, his name is Madhava, and we got Yasa on bass, and we got Roshan, the wonderful saxophone player, and Pramod, the drummer. He played with me before. Madhava played with me before, so 5 of us. And so we're hoping that we can move around Colombo a little bit with this band, a good band, and hoping to do a little more with this band.
So this is your bread and butter, right?
This has been my bread and butter all the way I live.
How hard it is for a musician?
It is very hard, especially now. Those days it was not so difficult, because the gigs were there, the places were there.
You mean before COVID?
Yeah, before COVID and on. And the gigs were there, the places were there, and there were less bands.
Yeah, now.
Right? So now I can name you a lot of bands right now. Those days it was a few, say about 10 or 15 bands, but now today I have a group that is full of bands. So everybody wants to play the gig.
Competitive.
Yeah.
How do you see the clubs from back in the day to now, when you compare the two scenes? How do you see this difference? Have you grown? Like, how's the crowd?
Yeah. I can talk about where I have played.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. So, I started really playing in really clubs, as in I played at R&B, that's Russell Fernando, then I played at Clancy's, that's Jeffrey's club, and then so on and on, the other whatever clubs were around. So the club music, those days, they wanted more bands to play.
Yeah.
So you see, there were about 4 bands playing a week in Russell's place, and Clancy's has 4 or 5 days, sometimes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Tuesday Wildfire played, Thursday Wildfire played, they were packed. Wildfire was packing the place up. Like that. Even Exit, we were doing well. We were packing the place on a Wednesday at R&B. So we played soul music, a little bit of rock, and not much of pop. But the clubs wanted the bands. But today, very sadly, a lot of clubs don't need the bands. Maybe the business is all good now, I don't mind saying this. Business is all good, so everything was uplifted by a lot of musicians.
And they prefer DJs.
Now the DJ will play you some retro music. I had nothing against DJs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even then we played together with the DJ. I took over from the DJ and kept the same level going and played 45 minutes non-stop, everybody on the floor. So I have the experience of that. But slowly they have cut the cost or whatever. They have put the bands aside, which is, I want to say this. They have put the bands aside. Never mind if they've forgotten the bands or whatever, but they started with no DJ at all. In the break, I have to play the music, play some CD there, but now they get just 2 DJs for the night and they have forgotten about the bands. Well, everybody should hear this. This is the fact, and the band guys will agree with me. Right? So, good chance I got to say this. They have forgotten the rules.
I'm not talking anybody's side here. What? Let's just
think, talk sides.
Let's just think from their side. Maybe they are saying the bands are costly.
The bands, listen. Another good question. The bands are costly, right? Even then, there was an amount set for a band, right? So it's not the same amount like before. You see, at that time also that was
decent amount.
Decent amount for the bands, and we got our dinner and everything and a very decent dinner. Suddenly, they just throw something at you for a dinner and then try to bring the price down. But when the bands were when the clubs are not doing well, they paid the bands.
They want the bands to come and
yes. But when they started doing well, then they cut the bands down. So that was very clearly for us to see, right? So
why do you think that is happening? Because you think they don't know the proper entertainment?
No. Now these guys whom I played for, they are also top musicians, So they know, they themselves have played in bands and they probably didn't. But like I said, when the band started playing and when the club started, all the musicians were somehow paid, even difficult times, but they were paid. But when they were doing well, slowly they put the bands aside. You know? And then even the food, just something thrown at you like this. I am saying this because it's true, right? So we know how they treated us, but I know how much of sweat I have sweated on that stage, and kept many nights going. And not only me, my band and other bands. There was Ultimate Sudu, who's passed away, and all those bands. So we actually gave them a good helping hand to do this, which is not very appreciated today. But the fact is that.
True, indeed. So how is the scenario right now in clubs? Right now, when we are coming after COVID, economic crash, now everything is coming up now. So how is the scene right now?
Yes, so right now even the people don't have too much money to spend. So the little that they have, there are a lot of open places today to go. So to those days it was R&B, Clancy's and a few other places, right? So today you can count R&B no bands, like Clancy's is no more. So like that divas, yes, they just started divas, and actually they are doing the same thing that R&B and Clancy's did before. They are still trying to get the bands to play and perform. They know with the DJ only it's not going to be enough today,
right?
Or maybe it's not working well or something like that, but they are still open for bands, and I am still off and on playing there. Not only because I am playing there, but Divas is okay, and a few other places are open for bands, but the money is not very great. But still, our boys have a place to play here and there.
Been in the industry for almost 5 decades. What can you tell the young upcoming musician?
If you're hoping to go with music, uh, try not to depend on the club circuit, because I am telling with the experience,
Mm.
and I don't care who's going to listen to this.
Mm.
The fact is the fact.
Mm.
They might not want to have me in their club. That is up to them.
Mm.
But for the young musicians,
Mm.
don't depend on the clubs and have your price.
Mm.
Have your price, because if anybody wants to have you, it's because of your good that they want to have you.
Mm.
So name your price and don't let anybody handle you.
Mm.
You call up the shots.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to work. If you want us to play, this is how it's going to work. You start respecting the musicians,
Yeah.
and don't let that happen like it happened to us.
Mm.
So don't the bands, younger bands, I'm telling you all, one day, uncle, you can call me Ayya or Siya, even never mind later on. Call your shots. Don't give in to any club or any hotel to handle you the way they want. Just call your shots, because if anybody wants something, come on, a night without a band, without music is not a night. Right? Only just food and drinks are not going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to have music. Okay, you can have a lot of DJs, fine, but you can't have a lot of bands.
Yeah.
So band boys, also DJs, stand up for your right. Don't let anybody rule you and say this is your price. You name the price.
Strong words of wisdom. Right. I think it's only fair to name a couple of people who you want to thank in your journey so far.
I would thank first my journey. I would thank the good Lord for bringing me into this world with lovely parents and siblings, and thereon we go on with our children and everything. So thanking my mother and father for sin here, and my sister is amazing. I have a younger sister also. She's also very musical. She sings in the kitchen. But that's where it all started, inspired all of, even myself, through my sister, my mother and father. And I want to thank Jeffrey. He's an awesome guy. I have my fights with him, and I have it all, but end of the day, who lifted me up and who wanted me to do well is Jeffrey. And I can't see too many in front of me who gave me a hand, who are those, I mean, who has that wonderful, gives you that warm feeling and wonderful heart. Thank you, Jeff, for having me for all those years, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Before I wrap things up, where can the people see you all playing?
Like I told you, hoping to get this band going on the track sooner, faster. So at Divas, it's the only place at the moment we are playing, and we are hoping to play in other places. Irish pub has been treating us very good as well, and there's a place called Octopussy. I played there once or twice.
Follow him on social media so you can get to know.
Yeah, so there are another few clubs I'm hoping to look into, and maybe we'll see how it goes.
Don't forget to check them out, Kevin Almeida and Exit.
Yeah, Exit.
Right, Kevin, thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll meet up again soon.
Thank you very
All right.
much. Thanks for coming over.